Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing the previous year questions of a doll's house. The years which we'll be discussing is of 2018 to 2022. So before discussing the questions, a little bit about Ibsen. So Ibsen was influenced by his silently suffering mother, and this made the entire change in his life. And it made him to question the powerlessness and the reality of the traditional female roles. Also, during his time, Elizabethan theatre was somewhat expected to show how the what are actually the traditional family values. But Ibsen, on the other hand, because he had such traumatized childhood, he showed up the courage to show the hard realities that had been behind the facades of piety and propriety. Also, he reveals a hypocritical morality and blatant injustice of the Victorian society. He also had inspired many of the modern writers and modern artists, and also in their art as well as in their life. The themes of Doll's House, if we talk about, are not only of feminism but also of self discovery and self realization, because we ultimately see how Nora and Helmer both get to realize themselves and both get a sense of discovery, and which is gender neutral there, because Ibsen does not only focus on women but also the society as a whole. So also he was known as the father of realism. So we'll be discussing the questions one by one. So the first question is, the incidents, characters, and dialogues of in Ibsen's A Doll's House are conceived in such a way that they conceal as much as they reveal. So a general discussion, if we say, we have seen that many of the incidents and characters and dialogues, if we focus upon them, then it says that Ibsen has used these things in a very precise manner, so that it conceal as much as they reveal, because there have been some instances, there have been some characters like Nora, there has been Towel, there has been Mrs. Lind, there has been Crocs, and all these characters and the incidents which had been taking place, because it is a comparatively shorter play, and the exact amount of words and the incidences which Ibsen has with very intelligently placed, all these things show something which is very it conceals in a way things that at the end we get a revelation of what actually was being shown in the initial stages, does not actually uh, comes to reality, because the reality is somewhat very different to what things were shown in the initial stages. So what we have to write in these is from like the play actually has a brilliance of how it gradually peels the layers of Nora's character, or Helmer's character, or the other characters, and also how it slowly and slowly reveals the understanding of all the characters which have been put in the play. Also, if we talk about particular instances of particular characters, we talk about Nora. Then Nora initially conceals her true feelings and motivations, and she tries to conceal it behind a facade of a childlike playfulness. She says, "I'm your little lark," and she says like, "Come, Towel, see how nicely I dance." So these are the words, these are the phrases which you can use, and she it seems that the seemingly innocent request of dancing with Towel, she is actually using it to keep him from the confrontation of the deeper issues of their relationship, and the deeper issues like the forgery of the loan, or the play also makes us feel that Nora initially is a very carefree and financially irresponsible woman, but at the end we come to understand that it is not so. And also, from the quote that says, "I used to sit here and pretend that a rich old gentleman was in love with me." So it shows how Nora was appeared to be like a seemingly silly woman and childish woman, but at the end, as the play progresses, we see that she's an intelligent, motivated, and by the play's conclusion, a strong-willed woman, and an independent thinker. But Torvald though he plays the part of being the strong, benevolent husband, it reveals himself to be a cowardly and somewhat unsympathetic towards the married life. So this brings out the climax, and it shows how the characters have been concealed in a way to present the actual realities of the time. Also, Torvald used to idealize his life. He was much concerned about the appearance. He says, "From now on, forget happiness. Now it's about saving the remains, the wreckage, the appearance." So this shows that primarily he was just attracted to Nora for the beauty, and he takes his personal pride from the looks of the good wife. But actually, it is shown from these sentences that he was the one who wanted everything to look good, actually, even though internally things are not good. So he cannot afford to wreck the appearance. So he just wanted to cover up everything and make people believe that everything is fine, and the appearance of happiness actually there is far more important to him than happiness itself. So also he conceals his own insecurities. He says that there is a quotation which says that I would save you if you had some terrible thing happen to you, and I would save you from that. So it shows that actually he did not loved Nora. He felt that he could exercise his own dominance, and that dominance over Nora made him feel good. That was not actually love, which was shown that in the initial stages that they were a very happy couple. So he also conceals his own insecurities and need of for control, like behind the image of male superiority and protectiveness. So because he says no man sacrifices his honor even for those he loves. So this shows how he was concealing his own emotions, his own feelings, and how he was it reveals Towell's rigid adherence to the societal expectations than his own independent understanding of love for Nora. Also, the societal expectations of the time forced Nora to conceal her true self. She wanted to be an independent woman. She wanted to earn. She wanted to be an take the charge of her life, but actually she could not do that. She had to conceal her feelings, and she says that you have done me great wrong. You and father have done me great wrong, and have passed from father's hands into yours, and I seem to have been living like a beggar from hand to mouth. So even though, and she also, we can understand that she used this sentence that I felt um, like a man, being a man. Like when she was earning, she has said, I almost it was almost like being a man. So it makes it clear that she had no previous employment experience, but yet it was being in a man's realm to earn. So she found the novelty of earning money stimulating, and she had to conceal all those excitement, and she could not share her excitement with her husband because it was not considered her domain. So this was also how Nora had to conceal her inner feelings due to societal expectations. Also, we can see there was gradually, when the story was forwarding, there have been many instances where the true characters and the reality of all the situation and all the characters were coming up. And Krogstad was also, who was considered a very harsh and rude person, who just was blackmailing Nora, who um, who was taking the benefit of Nora's um, forgery. He had been such a kind-hearted person, and also Croxted appearance and his demands bring a concealed truth to the surface, and his interactions with Nora force her to confront the consequences of her actions and the vulnerability of her position. So also we can also understand this by the other scenes or other incidents, like the Tarantula scene. The Tarantula dance had been a moment of revelation, because it was because she was she was dancing in such vibrancy and such force that it felt that Nora was expressing actually herself, her tormentations, and her inner turmoil was just coming out when she was dancing. And um, and Towel was the one who held her from her hand and took her away from the tarantula dance. So it was shown somewhat of how dominant Towel was there in the relationship. Next, we can talk about the letter which Krogstad had used. So, Towel, the letter basically brought out the inner appearances of the characters. It brought out the appearance of Towel, which made Nora realize that what actually Towel is, and she finally understands the originality of the relationship which she and Towel are sharing. Also, it led to Nora's awakening, finally, and she decides to leave her home, leave her doll's house actually. And also, it led to the realization of Torvald. Further, if we talk about the next question, discuss Ibsen as a dramatist of realism. So, if we have discussed it earlier, it is said that Ibsen was a father of realism because Ibsen embodies the realistic features in this drama, and Ibsen's audience had an interest in the socio-political problems, and and he tackled all these in his plays. Ibsen is regarded as one of the founders of modernism in theater, and is referred to as father of realism. And his depiction of the issues sparked the fire of debate among the other modernist writers, where other modernist writers were interested in the philosophical and psychological elements. His plays were a little different, which show the socio-economic conditions and the socio-political problems of the people who were living there. So Ibsen restored to drama its significance as a vehicle for an all-inclusive criticism of life. Also, the play is significant for its way to deal with the fate of the characters, that is a married couple at the time of Norway, which lacked a reasonable opportunities of self fulfillment in the male dominated world. So, if we talk about the instances from the play itself, so Ibsen's characters are basically, they are not idealized heroes or heroines or larger than life people. They are just ordinary people who deal with the ordinary problems which every person in their lives would be facing. The struggles are very realistic, and just like there are the characters are presented, Nora and Helmer, and the conflict in their relationship, how the internal conflict led to the externalization of the problems. So Nora is seemingly a happy and a fulfilled wife. She says, I'm so happy, and the the marriage life is going so well, but actually she is not. The concealment of her inner feelings shows the reality of the married life. So she's a happy mother. It is shown that she's a happy wife, but actually she's trapped into the social construct, and she's not able to understand her original being and how she can achieve her fulfill her desires. And also, Torvald is a man who is clutched into the societal expectations, and it is not basically his fault to be in that way. It was the society's condition which made him to be a husband who had to dominate the other family members, basically his wife. And it is shown that he was blinded by societal expectations and his own ego. So also Ibsen uses realistic and very uh, easy language, because the doll's house is very simpler in language than the other works if you read. So the characters have been speaking very simple language, and the simple sentences have been used, so it shows the naturalness and authenticity of the characters. And it shows like the sentences have been used, like Nora says, I could never act against your wishes. So it shows that very simple sentences have been used. So also, if we talk about the setting, so the setting is a typical middle class house, and it shows the domestic issues and family relationships, the inner turmoil of the husband, the inner turmoil of the wife, and and how they come out of it. And it is shown as a something reality, how it would have been shown. And also the statements, like when Nora says we have been married for 8 years, isn't that a long time? So it shows that its simple statement highlights the ordinariness of the situation. Like, it had been so long while they had been married, but still there has been a sense of dissatisfaction. And with the passage of time, the time just passes, and nothing actually gets better. It's actually getting worse in the relationship of the husband and wife. So the domestic setting also shows how things have been so realist. Also, if you talk about the issues which have been presented in the play, so there has been gender issues, there have been marriage issues, there have been the dominance of there have been patriarchal issues. So all these controversial social issues have been dealt in the play. And particularly the constraints which have been placed in the women. Um, there has been Nora, there has been Mrs. Lind, there has been the caretaker, which is taking care of the children of Nora, and and how she had to give up her children in order to earn. So this was the condition which was in which the women of the 19th century were there. And also Ibsen challenges these traditional views of marriage, and it shows how the imbalance of power had led to the condition, the deplorable condition in which women have been living there. Because there is a quotation which says, initially it is said that how painful and humiliating it would be for Torvald, for his manly self-respect, to know that he owed anything. So this was the condition. Like, she could not even take money or get a loan without her husband's consent. So this was the condition of women. Also, a woman, she says, a woman can't be herself in modern society. It is an exclusively male society with laws made by men and judicial standards and rules interpreted by men. So this was the realization which Nora had, and ultimately Nora chooses to stand for herself and find her identity in the world. Also, there has been realism which goes beyond the surface, and it brings out the realities of the middle life, the hypocrisy of married life, and the illusions which lie beneath the surface. So because the law doesn't concern itself with the motives, when Krogstad says this, it is a statement which highlights the harsh reality of the legal system, that it disregards the individual circumstances. No matter what a person is going through, the law will always be uh, against those who are incapable um, of power, or they are not in power. So those people are always the one who are facing a lot of problems due to the laws. And it also is a reflection of the societal pressure and the constraints which have been faced by the characters. So Ibsen's characters are complex and psychologically developed, because if we go through the novel, if we go through the drama, basically, so the drama shows that very shorter sentences have been used. I would say a rather a very um, good choice of words and sentences have been used. No sentence in the entire drama is useless. Everything just let on the characters to develop, and it helps the psychological development of the characters at the end of the play. And he also Ibsen explores the inner thoughts and motivations and the struggles of the characters, and reveals the psychological impact of the social pressures and personal choices also. So, if we talk next of the unsentimental approach, so Ibsen avoids the melodramatic exaggeration. He has and not sentimentalized emotions. He presents situations and characters in a mere objective of unsentimental light. It focuses on the complexities of human relationship and the ambiguities of morality. So when Towel says, I have no longer any faith in your love. So Towel's reaction to Nora's actions is not portrayed as merely as purely villainous, but it rather is a reflection of his own societal conditioning and his inability to understand Nora's perspective. Also, Ibsen does not offer easy solution to the moral judgments. He presents a dilemma and which are faced by the characters, and this is the actual and the reality of the dilemmas of how difficult the things can be led if everybody comes out with their own opinion, and it leaves the audience to ponder the complexities of issues and draw their own conclusions. So there is also other items of realism presented in the play, like the play's open ending, while Nora just leaves the home with the door open and with the banging the door, and she leaves her husband and children with the with like shocking the audience of how she will be able to find herself in the world outside, and it defied the act of Nora defied the dramatic conventions and refused to provide a neat resolution, because the later life which Nora is going to lead in the world outside is not presented, and what is going to happen in the next series, if we talk, which would be there, if if possible, then we are not being aware of what could happen if she leads her life in the world where she knows very less things. Also, Ibsen's stage direction are very detailed because he provides insight. He brings out the pictures of the Christmas tree, the stove, the tarantella dance. So everything this contributes the play's realism by grounding the action in a specific physical and social context. Okay, also while Ibsen plays are very realistic, he also uses symbolism. So there are many symbols, like macaroons is a symbol, the dollhouse itself is a symbol, and there is the Christmas tree is a symbol. So he also brings out the realism through the symbols. And Ibsen the Doll's House sparked heated debates and challenged the societal norms, and it was when it was first performed. So because the Doll's House had this potential to bring the social change, and Ibsen's realism forced audiences to confront uncomfortable truths. So this was it for this question. We will move to the next question. How do Ibsen externalize inner problems by using effective symbols in the Doll's House? Give a reasoned answer. So even if it doesn't say give a reasoned answer, we have to give a reasoned answer. This is the beauty of UPSC questions. So if we talk about question number of 2020, it says that we have to externalize. Ibsen has externalized inner problems, like the inner problems were there persisting in the characters, but it has been externalized. It has been shown through the symbols, and we have to bring out the symbols basically. So there are the symbols of the Christmas tree. So the Christmas tree is delivered in Nora's flurry. It delivers the Nora's flurry and excitement for the Christmas. She is like a happy songbird, and it also symbolizes the family happiness and unity, as well as the joy which Nora takes in making her home pleasant. But on the other hand, it also shows Nora's position in the household. Just as Nora instructs the maid that the children cannot see the tree until it has been decorated, she tells Towel that no one can see her in her dress until the evening of the dance. It also shows Nora's psychological condition had begun to erode. Like in the beginning of the second act, the stage directions indicate that Christmas tree is corresponding disheveled. So the same dishevelment is with the Nora psychological condition. The next symbol is of the New Year's Day. So the Nora and Towel both look forward to the New Year as a start of a new life. but Towel will start a new job, and Nora finally will repay her debt. But in reality, it shows how the new year is basically a new beginning for both the characters, or all the characters, I would say. Like Nora has moved out of her house, of her doll's house, and Towel has understanding of the reality of his married life, and Mrs. Lind and Krogstad are beginning their new life. So this new year is is a symbolism of the new world, the new way the characters have been going to live in the new year. Also, the symbol of macaroons, so the it represents Nora's disobedience and deceit, and it shows how she has been concealing her forgery with Towel. Also, the macaroons is like foreshadowing her own uh, concealment of the forgery of the loan. It represents the relationship between macaroons and Nora's inner passions also, because she had the passion of being independent and earning women, and she wanted to find herself, her identity in the world, but she couldn't. And so she had to somehow conceal all those things, and she says ki, I feel like while earning, sitting there and working, it felt like being a man. So all these things she had to conceal, just like she when she ate macaroons, and when Helma says, hasn't she even nibbled a macaron or two? The Nora says, no, Towel, indeed, indeed. So this shows that her inner passions are being suppressed, and now she has to suppress her passions to keep her marriage working, because she knows the fragility of her marriage. Also, the Tarantella dance is another symbol because it symbolizes the side of Nora that she cannot normally show, and it shows a fiery, passionate dance that allows Nora to drop the facade and facade of the perfect, mild, and well-mannered wife, Victorian wife. And so, the Tarantella dance brings out her own passions. Also, the doll's house is the main symbol, because the doll house, few mentions in the early of the play where Nora shows Towel that the doll she bought for her daughter, and the house there was. So it symbolizes Nora is raising her daughter for a life similar to her Nora's own. Also, it symbolizes how Nora actually understands how she has been treated with her by her husband and her father. She says, you have done me great wrong, you and father and you have been done me great wrong. And she says, I have been passing on, I have our house has been nothing but a playroom, and here I have been your doll wife, just as at home I used to be papa's doll child. So this was the condition how Nora was seeing things, and she accused Towel and his father to treat her like a doll. Also, there is another symbol of the stove, I would say, because the stove symbolizes Nora's emotional and physical warmth. Because when Krogstad comes to talk to Nora, she makes up the fire, and her actions is a remedy to escape her fear of Krogstad visit to discomfort and the discomfort of her mind. So it symbolizes the mental disturbance caused by Rang's unexpected declaration of her love, and also Krogstad's visit of the threat to expose her. The other important symbol was of the door, because Nora slamming the door shut behind her and her exit into the dark outside. It symbolizes the new women leaving behind the male-dominated home and society. So modern women's revolutionary step of seeking the challenge and identity and dignity is at the cost of some risk is shown in through the slamming of the door. Also, that in Iconoclast by James Hunniker, it is said that he had said that the slammed door reverberated across the roof of the world. So it shows that how this was a new wave of feminism, and how the women were recognizing their own potential, and they were challenging the patriarchal mindset. So moving on to next question. Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House is generally considered a feminist work. Do you agree with this view? So this question have been asked a few times, and the feminist reading or the gendered critique, which is the next question. So all these questions have been asked a few times, because the main theme, if we talk about, is of the feminism only. So this question. Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House is generally considered a feminist work. Do you agree with this view? Why not? So we have to not answer it like it is a feminist work. It is asking that, is it, do you agree with this view? Is it a feminist work? We have to first mention it is a feminist work, but we have to also mention there are some instances where it is not completely feminist work, and we have to answer it why or why not. So with examples, with the quotes from the text. So if we talk about the arguments for feminist work, it is like we can say the play undeniably critiques the patriarchal society of the 19th century, and it exposes Torvald and the other characters how uh, they have been putting limitations on the women. Basically Nora, there is the woman who has been facing such tormentations is Nora. There is Mrs. Lind, who had to leave her love and choose a well earning husband just to support her family. There's also the caretaker, which had to leave her child and to take care of Nora and her children just to earn and make the ends meet. So it exposes the limitations and oppressions faced by women within the marriage and the societal structures. Also, Nora's journey from a seemingly happy doll wife to a self aware woman seeking independence powerfully illustrates the constraints women endured. So, this is how it is a feminist. Also, it is said that a woman can't be herself in a modern society. It is exclusively male society. Like, the rules are interpreted by men. This quotation you can use to show that the oppression faced by women. Also, how it is a feminist work, because Nora's final decision to leave her husband and children is a radical step of self-assertion, like the modern woman's revolutionary step of challenging the patriarchal society, also to find her identity and dignity at the cost of the risk which she is going to take. So this art resonates deeply with the feminist ideals of autonomy and self determination. So because Nora has said in the final statement, she has said, I have another duty just as sacred, a duty to myself. So this is how it is a way more feminist. Further, it challenges the traditional gender roles by portraying Nora as a complex character, not just a simple gullible woman. And she's actually portrayed as an intellectual and emotionally aware woman, and how she had taken decisions of her life, even at the risk of losing her married life. And next, The Doll's House sparked the heated debate of societal challenges of the woman's condition and the gender equality and all these discussions. So it is somewhat a feminist work, but it also now against the feminist interpretation, like not solely the feminist interpretation. Some different interpretation can also be brought out. Like Ibsen himself resisted as being labeled as a feminist, stating that his concern was with humanism. As said earlier, it brings a self realization and self awareness of not just the female but also the male, because Toward is also the one who is discovered in the play itself, and he emphasized the individual struggle for freedom and self discovery regardless of the gender. Also, there is the themes which have been used, like the identity, self discovery, and the conflict between the individual desires, the societal expectations. These are not limited to women experiences. They are gender neutral. They can be interpreted as universal human struggles. So the next, if we talk about the central figure is Nora, and the play also offers nuanced portrayals of other characters also. Like, not only the play is not just centered around Nora, it is also about Torvald's life. It is also about Krogstad's life, and Towel simply is not a villain. He's not portrayed as a villain, but he's portrayed as a product of his own societal conditioning. So, and how he himself is trapped in the patriarchal expectations. So, and and he says, I would gladly work for you night and day, Nora, for your sake. So it ultimately sees, while ultimately self-serving, this statement reveals Towel's own desire to fulfill his perceived role, and how he has been entrapped into the role of the provider and the protector, and highlight the constraints of traditional masculinity. Also, Ibsen doesn't offer any clear answer and clear solution to the things which have been presented in the play. This is an open ending play, and it raises the questions about the challenges and sacrifices involved in pursuing independence, not just of a female but also of a male, of all the characters which have been presented in the play. So next question, if we deal, the question is an attempt at gendered critique of the Doll's House. So this was the question again. It has been repeated this year, like 2021, 2022. 2021, 2022, the same question has been repeated somewhat in the same context, because the gendered critique is being asked, and here it is asked that is it a feminist work or not. So we'll be discussing this question, attempt a gendered critique of a doll's house. So the doll's house goes, it goes beyond simply labeling it as a feminist, because we have discussed it earlier also, and it delves into the complexities of the various gender roles, the power dynamics, and the societal expectations. Also, Doll's House directly confronts the 19th century ideal of the doll house, or the perfect ideal woman, or the perfect wife or mother, who has to be selfless, who has to be submissive, and completely devoted to her family. And so Nora initially appears to embody this ideal, but gradually it is seen that she cannot endure up much. And she says, like she has this statements, when she says, when Towel says that that's my little skylark. So and ultimately Nora says, sit down, Towel, like we have to talk about like a husband and wife. So these were the things when Nora had finally understood how the reality is going to be changed. And she also says, like, you are not the man to teach me to be a fit wife for you. So these was the ultimate understanding which Nora had. Also, Nora's playful and childlike behavior, her dependence on Torvald, and her focus on domestic duties are all part of her performance of the idealized femininity, and how entrapped she was into the femininity. And she says, I have been performing tricks for you, Torvald, and that's how I've survived. So it shows Nora is aware of her performance, how she has been making her ends meet to survive in the male dominated world. Also, the play exposes Nora's and how Nora has to conform to the ideals, and how she sacrifices her own interests, her desires, her emotional being, her identity, just to fulfill the needs of the society. And she says, I have been felt like a man when she was earning. And also she says, I have never felt so free in my whole life, as if I feel as if I have been relieved of such a great burden. So she has decided to leave Towel and highlight the sense of liberation. So she feels liberated, even though she's leaving her husband's home, her duties, her children. She has been leaving everything, but she has a sense of liberation. And Nora feels that rejecting the tag of being the ideal woman, she is embracing her autonomy. The play also highlights that the subtle and the not so subtle ways in which men exert power over and control over women. There is also a situation of Mrs. Lind, where she has to choose her dying mother, and the care of her family, and she has to choose some to marry someone else who is not being loved by her. And just to fulfill the ideals of the society, she had to comply to the all those roles which she has been assigned with. Also, the Towel's financial condition control over Nora, though it was he used he used of demeaning pet names. He used my little lark, my songbird, and his expectation that she will cater to his needs. These all illustrate the power imbalance. She had been acting like a songbird, and she had been playing and chirping around. So also Nora's actions, even though that appear to be independent choices, are often constrained by her limited agency or the patriarchal system. Her decisions to take out the loan, while motivated by the love of Torvald, is ultimately a desperate act within the system that denies her financial independence. Like, she says, I had to do it, it was the only way. And she knew, even though that this the revelation of her forgery would lead to the disavowalment of her marriage, and the fragility of the marriage would be exposed, and things would go worse. Then, even though she took the option of forging it. Also, Nora's eventual rebellion can be seen as a challenge to the male authority and a demand for women's right and determination. So this was simply a powerful statement when she says, I have to think about myself. It was a powerful statement how the feminist uh, movements have been displayed in the play. All Nora moves from the first to the fourth stage of feminism, and this is how Nora comes out as a independent and determined woman to find her identity in the world. So this was all about the questions. We'll be discussing other questions in the next video. Till then, thank you.